I've heard your voice 1,000 times. Oh, then get ready for 1,001, mother... Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today, let's take a look at the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Deluxe Throne Room Boba Fett from the book of Boba Fett. You may be surprised that I picked this up, especially after I said this. And now having this, I almost feel like I can pass on the Hasbro Deluxe version. I did say almost. Technicality. It's Star Wars. Even when I was editing that video before I posted it, I thought, why the hell did I say that? If nothing else, I could have my Fwoosh sitting on the custom throne I have. This can be standing in the display with the rest of my Black Series. Or maybe I'm just justifying another Boba Fett purchase. Looking at the package, it's what we're used to with the Black Series. It's all just black and some more black. The gray background is boring, but it helps the figure stand out a bit. The ever-changing colors for each form of media. Here, it's Book of Boba Fett has a drab green to match, you know, certain other parts of things. Warning, choking hazard, small parts. Don't put things in your mouth. On the side, some nice artwork from the Mandalorian. It's not the Book of Boba Fett. They marketed it that way. They done marketed it as the Book of Boba Fett. I think they were just like, hey, Book of Boba Fett's hot right now. Let's put some product out for that. On the back, that artwork again, a little bio. Don't put them in your mouths in other languages. Includes figure and 4 accessories because Deluxe. On the side, more window. On top, even more window. Look at that. On the bottom, legalese, barcode. Let's get this open, see what's going on here. Now, I'm not expecting the most exciting of new releases. You know, some of this is reuse. A lot of this is reuse. It's in different colors, you know, different paint job. Very, very nice. I mean, it does have some shortcomings. We'll get into that. But for the most part, standing there, being all Boba Fett, it works. Right off the bat, from the waist down, it is reuse of the recently released Boba Fett, where he has the Tusken garb on. The same crotch piece, the same legs down with the bagginess covering up the knee. Same boots, same feet. They did modify here. They took away this wrinkly part and made it compatible with these knee pads, which in the show he uses more as upper shin pads, but it's completely cut out to allow bagginess to hang over the side of the knee pads. Cool extra mile, because they could have just taken rubbery knee pads and glued it over the sculpt and called it good, since it's mostly hidden in neutral position. The sash hanging down from the belt is the same on both figures, but the belt is different, as it should be, because after he got his armor and repainted it, he added this belt with the buckle and the pouches. Holster seems to be reused with the band coming down around the leg. And then the head is reused. Something I noticed though, this is still a bit glossy, but not as glossy as the first go round. Maybe it's the silver, not as shiny, which I don't know why they use that silver, or I guess to highlight the damage on his face. But you can see the skin itself is slightly less shiny. I'm trying to get them as close together as possible to give you a look, just barely. And then, you know, there's a butt. Hey, I'm bald. I can do that. The gauntlets may be reused too from what we've been seeing, at least with Cobb Vanth. There's matching details. Makes sense in the show that they're his gauntlets. It's a separate piece. So this is new. This is new. This is new. Belt is new, and then the hands are new. It's got that salvaged Scarif Trooper back hand guard thing like Mando's wearing. So maybe he got these off Mando's ship at the same time he grabbed these and this and these and this and this. For those new parts, I'm betting we're going to see reuse of that later on, maybe with the actual Book of Boba Fett. Then there's that Walmart exclusive Tython Boba Fett, but with the paint all chipped up. As much as we can gripe about the reuse and paying extra for that reuse, Hasbro did do a good job of making it, you know, compatible, where it looks like Boba Fett throughout the different versions. And really, if we want to get technical, that's back on Disney. It's like, oh, here's a look, and here's another look, and here's another look. Merchandising! Before we get too far, this sash is accurate. Whenever I looked at the Fwoosh and it had the full lower skirt, the whole kilt, I thought, man, that looks great. But in the show, it's actually the baggy pants showing with this hanging. One of the big things I'm happy to see is the color of the underrobes, the underclothing. In the original promotional images, they were brown, except for the carded shot, so there was a glimmer of hope. And even this Tusken Boba should have been in black robes. So to have it in hand and have it in black, well, this looks black for some reason. I don't know if it's the lighting or my eyes, but down here it may be a very, 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 very super dark brown, just a shade off here, but it's dark enough to make me think it's black, or the color it should be. There's the dings and dents in the armor. Yes, this is repainted, but it was like hastily done. He's on the ship, they're heading somewhere, and thought, I need to do this real quick, give some TLC to my armor, but if I miss a couple places, that's okay. Paint doesn't come around to the back, though. These buckles and such, it would have been cool if there was some silver on there. A brassy gold to the belt buckle bleeds down onto the rope, and they didn't paint the nozzles for the dart shooters, or whatever the hell those things are. Those were painted on the Deluxe Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, but not on Cobb Vanth, you know. The reason he was a deluxe was the extra paints. But then a bluish color to the spats coming down over the gray rain boots. Engineering wise, or well, I guess from the design of the show, the bulky collar coming around, it obviously gets in the way of some neck movement. You can kind of shift and make them look down and get behind the collar, or in front of maybe. It's got some movement. But yeah, it's just the facts of life when it comes to making plastic action figures. The single hinges on the elbows don't come up as far as what we've been seeing, but that's because the gauntlet gets in the way from down here. Well, okay, why is it better on the left? And why am I having deja vu? Have I seen this before? What's the left? It goes past 90. What's the deal there? Oh, this gauntlet comes down further. There's more cut than that side. That's odd. Out of the package, this gauntlet was actually turned all the way to the back, and I thought, well, maybe he wore it like that in the show. Then I realized it's a separate piece. It rotates. You also have to watch these cables running up. They are rubbery, so if you happen to leave them there, there's some stretch, but notice it's stressing. Ooh. You want to get that off to the side of the arm when you bend it. The torso kind of pulls double duty. If it is indeed going to be used for that actual Book of Boba Fett. It seems in that series he slimmed down just a little from his appearance in The Mandalorian. And if it's there, you can see this. Not overly dad body, but if you want his Mandalorian appearance, you just kick him back a little bit out of the thing, and it gives that look like he just has a little bit of gut. And then one of my reasonings earlier was I can have the Fwoosh sitting on my custom throne. This one can be standing, but this one can actually sit. You will have this rubbery piece sticking straight out. And you also have these porch covers for his knees, which looks good in any other position unless you are pointing them directly at the camera. I don't hate this because in neutral, it looks almost seamless. Oh, it's an action figure. You can see the cut lines. It's not until you get right there for his hee or sitting that it's really noticeable. Going over articulation, there seems to be a double ball at the top of the neck with a ball down in the collar piece. Shift back slightly up, down to about right there. Again, if you shift back, get them inside the collar a little bit more. Okay tilt. Looks left and right. There seems to be a butterfly joint down in there, but because of this rubber overlay, kind of gets in the way. So there's some shift forward to shift back, but it essentially returns to neutral position. Peg out to the arm, rotates all the way around. This is rubbery, so it gets out of the way. Shoulder hinges up, about right there. Hinge and swivel at the elbow. Again, remember, move the tubes out of the way, comes up to about right there, then rotates in and out. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge up and down for a trigger finger hand. Yeah. Ball joint at the waist. Gets some nice hula hoop, some forward, some back, tilt, tilt. It rotates. Ball coming out to the hip comes forward. Even with that holster on, this is soft enough to get out of the way. This, if you were in a sitting position, can come around too. Back slightly. Out. Holster. I don't know if it's actually the holster getting in the way. The other side, for some reason, has more. Swivel at the thigh, hidden on this side by that strap and the sash, visible on this side because of the depth of that wrinkle right there. Hinge and swivel at the knee, comes up past there and gives a little rotation. Swivel at the boot, hinge at the ankle goes back, front, and forward-facing pin for rocker. For accessories, he has his rifle, and this is a new sculpt. It's very, very similar to his Empire and Return of the Jedi blasters, but it's got this new sculpt down here in the stock, new shape to the barrel, pokey hole flywheel thing. I don't know. Yeah, it is different, but Boba Fettish. Hand is not the softest material, and it has this where you have to get the thumb through, and it always drives me nuts when I'm trying to get the whole thing in that hand. That trigger finger. Boy, you are pissing me off. After much fight, oh well, shit, it's out again. After much fussing and fighting, it does look good once you get it in hand. Then there's his new blaster from The Mandalorian. Again, evocative of the one he had in his holster back in Empire and Return of the Jedi, but different. Oh, and so much easier just to push in and yeah. there you go. If you're using the rifle in the hand, and I probably will if I have to fight it again that much, you can hide the pistol away in the holster. Oh, and I just remembered that this is actual reuse too. I forgot it came with this Boba Fett. Give me that. This one's got a little extra paint to it. Well, maybe not extra paint, just different color. Also comes with this jetpack. Again, this is reuse of the jetpack we've seen several times. It's got that nice drab green, some silver, some paint scuff here and there. After seeing this a couple of times, here, Cobb Vanth, probably the next Boba Fett, and the Boba Fett after that, I wish they had sculpted that patch. Plugs right into here, and that's actually a nicer fit than we've been seeing. It's more straight up and down. Then there is the helmet. I assumed this was going to be reuse of the Deluxe Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, since that was a separate piece over a blank head, but this is different size. It's quite a bit shorter, but actually a bit deeper front to back. That's on top of the cleaner paint job. It has the kill marks around to the new black mark on the back. And that works really, really well. It covers down to the neck piece. You can see a little skin if you kick back, but most of the time it's gonna be like this. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the boosters also rotate. Oh yeah, and there's still a hinge at the rangefinder. Boba stands at about, well, almost exactly 6 inches tall to the top of the helmet. Completely works with the Hasbro Black Series Mandalorian and Fennec Shand. And this is why I thought they'd reuse this helmet, because they reused it on Cobb Vanth. And then here it is with the Bandai S.H.Figuarts Season 2 Mandalorian, and then their repaint Boba Fett. And you know what we got to do? Boba Fett Showdown! Like I mentioned, the kilt piece on the S.H.Figuarts is not accurate to the show. I thought it was because the flowiness of the baggy pants. The Black Series is actually more accurate with just the sash right here. For some reason, Bandai changed some things up from prototype to production piece with the visor, and it makes it a bit more cartoony. Also, the size of the Black Series looks more like a person is actually wearing this helmet. The colors on the S.H.Figuarts a bit more richer green. The Black Series is a drab green. If you have a problem with asymmetry, the Figuarts has this jutting out right shoulder pad. The Black Series made them even on both sides. They're both laying nicely on the shoulders. But this is accurate to the Cantina fight with Costco Reeves. And then, as always, the S.H.Figuarts slightly smaller, and the proportions are more superhero-y. It's meant to be more dynamic. And I feel like I'm ragging on the S.H.Figuarts, but I'm not. I do like it, but now that I have them side by side, it's easy to see the differences. The Figuarts, sculpt-wise, seems a little more accurate, but man, did they screwball it with that eye jutting to the inside. Black Series is a bit more full. Let's see what happens here, though. If I put this helmet on that, does it balance things out a little bit? That's not bad, but I'm also a fan of a larger head. I always feel like that adds a bit of realism to it. There's also something to be said about just being able to put the helmet on. I like both for different reasons. At the end of the day, better than I thought it'd be. I guess I was trying to downplay it in my mind. I'm happy with the Figuarts. I don't need to spend extra money on this, but now that I have it, and I've put it side by side, and I've put it with other characters, I feel like this fits my vision for my display. The proportions are realistic, the sculpt flows from head to toe, everything just works together. And honestly, posing is fun. I mean, you look at it in neutral position and think, those baggy pants and that bulkiness and those hoses and stuff, yeah, not happening. Then you start working it and it works. I still don't get why this is a deluxe though. Is it really simply because it's a Boba Fett armor? Because this is a lot of reuse, and new sculpting is not a rare thing in the main line. I know there's a lot of troopers and repaints and carbonized and all that, but when they get to the main wave and give us new characters, there's new sculpt there. And I know it's been said it's deluxe because of all the paint hits, and while there is some detail on the front, they still miss the silver tubes at the knee pads and probably some stuff at the gauntlets, some silver here and there. And I don't know why the patch on the jetpack is such a big deal to me. It's just something, it's a memorable moment from Return of the Jedi that was called back to in The Mandalorian. The jetpack gets reused 5 times. I feel like that warrants a little sculpt work on it. I do not like the price, but I do like the figure. In fact, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll post later about if this takes. That's a hard decision. If you enjoyed the review, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. I mean, even this pose right here, it's just dynamic. And from this angle, this knee pad porch cover thing, again, is not as noticeable. The sash kind of flows it down this side, and on here, it looks like the baggy pants are just kind of bagging themselves over. If you do turn it, you're going to start to get some shelfiness. But even then, I feel like this is the better way to go. It could have been just a big blocky knee joint. The only way you're going to get out of that is putting cloth down here and here and here.